I am going to talk about the late Bronze Age copper mines located in the eastern Ukraine and tools that were used for mining, ore processing, and metalworking. The study included a systematization of stone, bone, and ceramic artifacts from the sites of Berezhnovka-Mayovka Srubная culture, located in Donbas, Lugansk region, eastern Ukraine. The Kartamish archaeological area included the settlements and the sites for ore sorting and ore processing, copper underground mines, and open pits, which were exploited during the late Bronze Age, 16th, 13th centuries BC, according to Eastern European chronology. Between 2001 and 2010, regular field works were carried out there. The total investigated area was 1,290 square meters. The materials found there included tools made of stone, bone, and ceramic, casting molds, slagged stones and pottery, slags, mats, and furnaces. Virtually all the material was derived from the same culture. The pottery items can be linked to the Berezhnovka-Mayovska Srubная culture. 6 radiocarbon dates were obtained. According to summation, the date range fits into the interval 1670-1490 BC with a probability of 1 sigma. The database from the excavation includes more than 1,000 objects. The main raw materials for their manufacture were stone, bone, and ceramic. This assemblage has been processed using structural, technological, functional, and contextual analysis. Observations of traces were carried out with an optical microscope and an Olympus metallographic microscope with magnification up to 500. Most of the stone tools were made of local rocks such as copper sandstone and quartzite sandstone. Various functional groups have been identified. They were tools for mining, mattocks, hacks, and hammers. Mining tools were used both in the process of mining and for the fragmentation of copper ore pieces during extraction and primary splitting. They have deep crushed surfaces, which are typical of a strike on a solid material. Ore processing tools include grinding stones and grinding slabs. They were used in the process of crushing and rubbing. They have crushed and smoothed areas with directional grooves. Three buildings have been excavated at the Chervone Ozero 3 settlement. In the central part of the building, a well pit has been identified. The materials found there include tools made of stone, bone, and casting molds. There are also slagged stones and pottery, slags, and furnaces. Mining working tools include molds, hammers, anvils, abraders, and scraper. Metal working traces are micro recesses in dense metallic luster, sometimes residues of copper oxidize. As a part of the expedition, experiments were carried out on the copper smelting from chalcozene copper ore. For this, a melting furnace was modeled. The result was a copper ingot weighing 30 grams. Metalworking experiments were also carried out. The use were traces on the archaeological and experimental stone hammers are identical. The database of the bone artifacts include more than 400 items. 350 of them were made from ribs. Most often, researchers associated them with ore mining due to the contextual presence in ancient mines and their typological proximity to bronze wedges. The tool's surfaces were of a uniform green color. Such microinclusions were apparently the result of the influence of the environment, because they had been lying in a layer of crushed copper sandstone at the ore processing site. Useful traces on these artifacts are working edge roundness, striations on the edge, bright polishing. Surface striations on the working edge could result from the abrasive action of fine-grained material over the bone. In order to verify the functions of archaeological bone tools, I carried out experiments using similar replicas in a variety of operations. Traces on the artifacts were identified in comparison with experimental items associated with argillite mining, loosening a layer of crushed copper sandstone, and gravity separation processes. Comparison of wear on artifacts and experimental RIB tools enabled the artifacts to be identified as tools for storing and shoveling ore in the gravity separation process. It is known that the processing of copper ore by ancient miners metallurgists involved several operations: sorting, crushing, grinding, and washing. Ore sorting and primary crushing were carried out in the production area near the mine. Further grinding of the sorted ore with pestles on stone slabs was carried out within the production site of the Chervona Ozero 1 mine. After that, the gravity separation process using crushed ore took place in a stream which has been petrally investigated there. It was filled with a thick layer of waste, ground copper sandstone with pieces of rock. Wooden or leather containers immersed in water were used for processing. The mixture in the water was stirred with bone tools. The core aspect of this operation was the difference in specific gravity. The heavy pieces containing the ore sank to the bottom. Light particles of rock and impurities of copper sandstone floated upwards. The resulting powdered ore concentrate was the raw material for the metallurgy. It is possible that similar operations in the mines of other regions might have been carried out with wooden tools, the remains of which have not survived. Similar bone tools have also been found in the other Bronze Age mining areas in Europe: Kargali, Urals, Schwarzbrixlik, North Tyrol, Great Orme, North Wales. Authors of the studies suggested that they could have been used to sort ore or to scrape copper sandstone to extract ore. In some cases, it has been recorded that water, through the construction of special drains, was provided for mining areas even from distant sources. For example, in the area of the ancient Mitterberg pits, the territory of Austria, water was supplied from a mountain lake located 20 meters away. So comparison of wear on artifacts and experimental RIB tools enabled the artifacts to be identified like tools that were used for ore processing. Traces other than those from digging, but consistent with wear from working with skin and the abrasive influence of fine particles on bone were recorded. The occurrence of production waste as a thick layer of a ground copper sandstone, as well as the prevalence of ore processing stone tools in the area of the production site of the Chervona Ozero 1 pit, do not contradict the facts stated above. Kartamysh site's assemblage of tools is specific since there are evidences of all metal production process stages. They are mining, ore processing, metallurgical, and metalworking. The stone and bone tools from Kartamysh and other well-known Eurasian ancient pits are generally similar. Thank you.